Hey guys, we have some pretty powerful energy coming throughout the course of this weekend. There's kind of some big things happening every day, building into this energy that is coming towards us next week, the third week of January, which is likely to bring some major changes and some major transformations and more of these big time revelations. Now, to start our weekend on Friday the 13th, we have the Sun and Neptune making aspect. This could be more of a dreamy day. We might feel as though we're sort of caught in like a walking daydream or a walking meditation, not really wanting to be bothered by the more practical dimensions of our reality. There could also be some really beautiful creative ideas and solutions coming through. We have a grand trine in air signs playing out between the moon in Libra, Venus and Mars in Gemini and Aquarius as well. This is also putting a major emphasis on relationship themes and the energy on Friday, and also definitely moving into the energy on Saturday, where we are actually going to be having Venus come into an exact square with Uranus. Venus Aquarius, Uranus Taurus. These planets are actually in mutual reception right now as well, and they're coming into the exact aspect. This is disruptions in love and money. This is also a desire for freedom and liberation and excitement and release from the mundane and the things that have been holding us back from exploring our own personal potential. So we got that going on too. Could be a bit of an exciting Saturday. Moving into Sunday though, there's likely to be a sense of intensity or just some powerful emotions that are brewing and sort of growing and rising within us. The moon is moving into Scorpio on Sunday, preparing to make a conjunction to the South Node simultaneously. The sun is also beginning to build into conjunction with Pluto. So this is definitely, a more intense and powerful energy. We could be feeling like some power struggles, or there just could be some like strong urges that we feel like are sort of welling up within us. And this is the energy that is going to start bridging us forward into next week, this third week of January, where we're going to have a whole bunch going on as well. So we've got a lot to talk about as this energy is coming through this weekend. It is also my 500th video on this channel. So I also want to say thank you guys so much for being on this energetic journey with me. I'm so grateful for all of you. Let's get into this report. Let's talk about this energy as it's unfolding this weekend and what we may be able to anticipate in our experience on the ground. Welcome back to my channel, you guys. Today is Friday, January 13th, 2023. My name is Aubrey, and this is your astrological outlook of the weekend. In this report, we are going to be talking about the energy of today, Friday the 13th, tomorrow the 14th, Sunday the 15th, and then we will wrap this whole report up by drawing a synchronicity card just to get some guidance and advice from God, Spirit, Universe on something to keep in mind as we are navigating the energy this weekend. So let's start with Friday, January 13th. Actually, first of all, I wanted to say this is my 500th video on my channel, you guys. It's been less than 2 years and I've already done 500 videos. Like I said in my video for the other day, we're just getting started. But I really wanted to just say thank you guys so much for being here, for being on this journey with me as we are narrating the shift of the ages. It's just some big significant energetic times that we are in right now. When I started this channel, I just sort of wanted to, be somebody that could maybe like give a bit of an explanation to what's playing out right now on more of a microcosm level, and just how these shifts and changes can be affecting us in subtle ways on a daily basis, and over time how that snowballs and grows and translates into these personal paradigm shifts that then grow into these collective paradigm shifts. And then we're looking back and we're like, wow, I'm a completely different person now, and I'm standing in a completely different reality. But I step by step, I'm conscious of how this process happened. So that is, I guess just what this has turned into over time. And I just, again, want to say thank you guys so much for being here. And I'm very grateful for all of you, and looking forward to another 500,000 videos about what is going on in our transition of ages. Anyways, let's get into the energy as we have it coming in for Friday the 13th. This could be a very spiritually oriented day. We have on Friday the Sun and Neptune forming an exact sextile together between Capricorn and Pisces. Sun in Capricorn, Neptune and Pisces. The sextile between these two planets can really just provoke a desire to feel more connected to things. It can create a sense of like just a desire to relate on a more empathetic level. It can bring heightened levels of compassion and intuition. It's like we're yearning yearning for spiritual connection or connection to a higher power when we have these two planets forming the sextile. So as a result of that, it is likely to be a more spiritually inclined day, to the point where we actually may find that the more practical responsibilities and obligations and schedules and stuff that we have going on are sort of annoying us today to some extent, or like interfering with our ability to connect to this higher plane of our own vibration. Okay, it's like we are feeling the higher octaves of our own personal vibration and wanting to more so like merge with those today in a way that maybe we don't normally like experience that aspect of ourselves or the desire to relate to it. So, we could be sort of caught in this realm of greater connection and like a yearning for understanding today that is sort of interfering with our daily ongoings to some extent, or just bringing up a little bit of a sense of annoyance that we can't just like float away into this dream state. There could be some irritation going on in terms of these practical concerns interfering, like I said, with the meditative state. And then there's sort of also like a few other dimensions that are playing out in the energy on Friday. So that's kind of like our baseline, right? We have this like magical quality. When I was doing my monthly overview, next to this day, I wrote make a wish. And so I feel like, that is very much sort of the vibe on Friday, is this day where we're just sort of feeling aligned with like our wishes and our dreams and our ideals of what we truly could be. Like we're seeing and we're feeling an ability to sort of like merge for a period of time with the higher octaves of ourselves and of our potential, and see ourselves through a more just like a higher spiritual lens. Okay, that's just the way that this energy is feeling. Now, another side of the energy as it's coming through today is this mental stimulation. All right, we've also got a grand trine in air signs playing out. This is not exact. Mars is at 9 degrees of Gemini, Venus is at 14 degrees of Aquarius. So there's a 5-degree orb between Mars and Venus in their air signs right now. So they're not in the exact trine, but the moon is moving through Libra today. And the moon is going to trine both of these planets. The moon is sort of a fast-moving planet, and because the moon moves so quickly, it's sort of like making a trine to both simultaneously, loosely. So I'm looking at this energy as a grand trine in these air signs between the masculine and the feminine, Mars and Venus, and also the moon, our feelings and our emotions and our intuition. This is also a day, Mars and Venus in an aspect together with the moon. This is an air signs as well, an ability to like intuitively, again, through this Sun Neptune energy as well, to like intuitively connect with higher ideas. Aquarius where Venus is, Mars, or Gemini where Mars is, it's like inspired ideas that we're relating with on an emotional level that have a very an air of creative potential to them, because we're talking about the masculine and the feminine in this facilitated aspect together. That just naturally and inherently leads to creativity. So there's this enhanced creative energy in the field today that is being facilitated as well through our like intuitive, emotional, spiritual connection that we are kind of immersed in today with this sextile that is playing out between the Sun and Neptune. It's a very inspired day. It's a very good day for like manifestation. Anything like prayer, meditation, envisioning, journaling, like just aligning with our mind's eye, sort of just like being in that more meditative daydream state in alignment with our aspirations is very supported. And I feel like it actually, if we can, it's productive. Okay, it's not like a waste of time if we find ourselves sort of drifting off into these visions of our own personal like greatness today as well, with Mars having station direct and Jupiter and Aries, like the potential and the possibilities and the aspirations that we have for ourselves based on these new versions of ourselves, and this value also that we're recognizing of ourselves and that we have been recognizing over this past period of retrograde as well. What we've been rediscovering about ourselves and our talent and our potential and our abilities, and this internal like urge and drive that's building now with Mars direct to move forward, to take some type of actually like action to pursue them in some type of way. Pursuing our passions is a very dominant energy in the field right now as well. But this grand air trine that we have playing out on the side of the Sun Neptune sextile is this desire to create creative ideas, inspiration, passion, and pursuing desires that may be really stimulating us on a mental level today as well. Now, the third dynamic of what is playing out today is the moon is in Libra. I should have said the moon is in Libra. The moon is transiting the sign of Libra right now, which is also putting an emphasis on Venus, who is also in this grand trine in air today. That's one reason why I feel like relationship themes, financial themes, love, money are likely to sort of be some of the more prominent facets of our situations that we are navigating. But with the moon in Libra, it's also forming a square to Mercury retrograde in Capricorn right now. And Mercury retrograde in Capricorn today happens to be actually an exact aspect to the nodes of the moon, the north node, the south node, which represent destiny and karma, the path ahead, where we're going to, where we're growing, the next phase of growth, the cosmic lesson plan moving forward, and what we have already learned and need to detach ourselves and release ourselves from in order to go in that direction, in order to get there. So Mercury in the aspect, these are trines and sextiles. Mercury in Capricorn is forming a trine to the north node in Taurus, sextile to the south node in Scorpio. There's also a dimension today of energy that's coming through that is like these faded endings or these faded beginnings based on something that we're learning about. This is the past catching up to us, perhaps in some type of situation that is bringing things to an end, or that is causing a divinely aligned or divinely timed beginning in one way or another. So faded endings and beginnings involving things not living up to our standards as well, with Mercury in the sign of Capricorn, and this reevaluation process and revaluation process as well that's been going on. Things that are not reflecting our value and our authentic truth that we have kind of realigned ourselves with over this course of this past several months. This is what we may be detaching ourselves from this weekend, and definitely moving forward into next week as well, when we're going to have both Mercury and Uranus stationed direct. So we've got the Neptune Sun dynamic of things. We've got this grand air trine dynamic of things with Venus, Mars, and the moon. And then we've also got the moon in Libra forming a square to Mercury, and so in Capricorn. So, on one hand, this is these irritations, these practical issues that may be coming up that are like disrupting like our inner peace or our vision, or the meditative energy that is coming through today. But on the other hand, it's also whatever is not recognizing like the truth of our value and stuff like that, for having just like a distaste for that kind of at this point in time, and like turned off by things that are not recognizing that value that we've discovered within us as well. And then this is also these like faded messages. This is Mercury's the messenger planet. When we have Mercury making aspects, especially facilitated aspect like this to the north and the south nodes of the moon, this is very much like divinely timed, divinely aligned messages coming through. This is also like encounters, like people, places, and situations that are coming into your experience today, sudden redirections and changes of plans. But because Mercury is retrograde, this is going to have a lot to do with things from the past that we are gaining additional information to now, that is really changing things for us in one way or another, and also helping us to make some different choices and decisions moving forward. Week 3 of January is going to be it's going to be interesting, and it's probably going to be pretty significant in terms of the changes that happen, the unexpected situations that occur, and the results of those moving forward. With Venus in Aquarius, this is another thing that we need to talk about as we are moving into the energy for Saturday, because Venus is going to be forming the exact square to Uranus on Saturday. They're actually in this mutual reception, which I haven't mentioned actually over this past couple of weeks, but it is a dynamic of what is playing out right now, and it is a reason why the Venus and Aquarius energy is so strong and prominent, and people are really coming to a point of detaching from things that they perceive to be presenting with a level of fakeness or inauthenticity, false presentations, false images. Like, this is not the vibe right now. Like, we're not feeling that, and in fact, like, people, again, like there's like a turn off factor to things that we feel like are a fabricated presentation of what is actually like lurking under the surface. So we're looking for truth, we're looking for realness, we're looking for authenticity, and where that is not existing, or we're also looking for excitement with Venus and Uranus in this mutual reception. This is really wanting to have the freedom to experience something that really just like lights us up or makes us feel alive inside. Like, that's what we're desiring. We're craving new and exciting experiences and changes also in relationship dynamics, especially with this square playing out. And we're going to talk more about this as we move into the energy for Saturday. But, all weekend, really, major disruptions to comfort levels, status quos, false images, false appearances, masks that we wear, things used to appease and smooth over situations as well, to hide the authentic truth of what's been going on underneath. This is just going to likely be upset in some type of way. Desire for realness, disruptions to whatever is preventing growth. Disruptions that happen are for the purpose of promoting growth, is another way that you could say that. But major relationship, financial, and material shakeups, also themes of justice and freedom coming through with this. We are very creatively inspired in the energy on Friday, magical, passionate energy. We may feel sort of like swept away into this walking dream, like I was saying, or just feel this like heightened sense of intuition, spiritual connection, desire to create and connect out of our higher selves or in alignment with a higher power. This divine inspiration could very much be coming through as well in the energy for Friday. Meditating, visualizing, journaling, prayer, creative activities, reading, spiritual guidance, writing, anything like that, like I said a little bit earlier, is a good outlet for this energy, a good way to use this energy. It could be, again, very difficult to concentrate, very difficult to focus, especially on like more mundane things that aren't connected to like spirituality and like greater understandings and like I don't know, being of service to others and stuff like that. But it's just relationships are likely to be the primary way that this energy is playing out, or just like on our mind or in our thoughts or in our conversations as well, with all this air sign energy and Mercury also being in the aspects to the nodes. Very creative energy, great energy for conceptualizing new ideas and things generally today, with the Mars, Venus, Moon energy together in these air signs. Ideas of how to get what we want. Pay attention to what you're hearing and learning today. Faded messages, news, and information for sure, with the Mercury node exact aspects and dynamics playing out today. The Sabian symbols are also very interesting in the energy on Friday. We are just like covered the whole, like all the Sabian symbols basically are talking about like men and women doing things generally. Now it makes sense to me because Mars just went direct yesterday, and this is sort of like reinforcing the Mars direct energy of like people taking action and people making things happen and momentum building and stuff like that. And there may also in the energy on Friday be a feeling of, or a desire to sort of isolate ourselves somehow, or feeling isolated. There's 2 degrees that are specifically talking about islands in the energy on Friday. We have the Earth at 24 degrees of Cancer, a woman and 2 men cast away on a small island. And we also have Neptune in the sextile to the sun at 24 Pisces, an inhabited island. And then the position of the sun itself in the sextile to Neptune, 24 degrees of Capricorn. That Sabian symbol is a woman entering a convent. So again, we may really just sort of feel like withdrawing and sort of isolating ourselves into our own like daydreams or visions or our own little dream world sort of in the energy on Friday. But also we have listen to all this description stuff that we have going on. We have Jupiter at 3 degrees of Aries, the cameo profile of a man in the outline of his country. We have Saturn at 24 degrees of Aquarius, a man turning his back on his passions teaches deep wisdom from his experience. We have Uranus at 15 degrees of Taurus, a man with a rakish silk hat muffled against the cold braves a storm. We have Pluto at 29 degrees of Capricorn, a woman reading tea leaves. We have the North Node at 11 Taurus, a woman sprinkling long rows of flowers. We have the South Node at 11 Scorpio, a drowning man is being rescued. We have the Black Moon at 1 degree of Leo, under emotional stress, blood rushes to a man's head. And then, like I said, we have the position of the Sun, a woman entering a convent, and the position of the Earth, a woman and 2 men cast away on a small island. So like there is so much symbolism playing out on Friday that's like specifically referencing like men and women in their various activities and their various ongoing. So to me, this is just like the ball rolling and lots of people doing lots of things. Probably a very busy energy as we have it playing out on Friday. Now, remember, make a wish in the energy on Friday. I feel like it's a good day to do that because wishes could be granted in the long run if we are interacting with ourselves in spirit properly on Friday the 13th. Now, moving into Saturday, January 14th, this is the day when Venus comes into the exact square with Uranus. Venus in Aquarius, Aquarius ruled by Uranus, Uranus in Taurus ruled by Venus. Venus in Aquarius, or Venus in Uranus's sign, Uranus in Venus's sign, mutual reception, a blending of the energy, and these two planets simultaneously coming to exact aspect. The aspect is a square. The signs are fixed. This is breaking through some stubborn resistance, you guys. This is what we haven't been able to do, the changes that we haven't been able to make in relationship and financial and partnership dynamics specifically. We're going to be assisted in this manner. It could be quite disruptive. It could be quite unexpected, but this is basically saying that any changes that we have not been able to make ourselves and that are blocking our ability to go through this path of aligning with our authentic truth and heading towards a trajectory that is supporting our growth into our true potential. If we haven't been able to remove ourselves from any situations that are blocking us from that, or detach ourselves from relationships that are no longer good for us, or financial situations, that's probably going to just be spontaneously happening somehow over the course of this weekend, specifically Saturday. Like, that is what this is doing. Venus's value, Venus's potential, Venus is the creative ability and creative force as well. It is balance and harmony. It is beauty and peace, but it is also relationship dynamics, partnerships, resources. Venus, like how we interact with others, the various relationships, all the relationships in our lives, like our social dynamics generally, but ultimately it's love and money when we're talking about Venus. Now, in Uranus, this is the great rectifier. Uranus is the great awakener. Uranus rules our authentic potential. Uranus rules the future as well, and the path towards cultivating and developing authentic potential. In the sign of Taurus, this has to do with recognizing our deep wells of resources within us, discovering the value within us, and the process of unlocking and developing that potential so that we can move towards the future version of ourselves in alignment with our higher selves and a more consciously awakened version of ourselves. These Aquarius Uranus themes. We're talking about Venus. This is in terms of matters of the heart. This is also likely to cause a desire to free ourselves, to liberate ourselves from anything that is stifling our perception of the authentic truths that we are coming to now, or that we feel like is fake, or that we feel like is a facade, or that we feel like is a false image, or, that we're just doing like for the money. Like, it's not about that anymore. We're craving realness. We're craving excitement. We're craving that like electric spark that just sort of like shocks our heart back to life and like really makes us feel alive again. Breakthroughs and breakdowns could definitely be coming through with this. Remember, it is happening in fixed signs. So this is what we haven't been able to do. This is the resistance that we can't like crack through. This is things building into a head, things coming to a head, and momentum actually happening. Like the foundations being shaken in such a way that movement can actually start taking place. We also have a third quarter square moon playing out today. So we have two squares going on. We've got the moon in Libra forming the square to the sun. Now, the moon in Libra is, of course, ruled by which planet? Ruled by Venus. So the moon in square to the sun today, this third quarter square moon energy actually is playing significantly into the Venus square Uranus energy as well. So breakthrough sort of like across the board today. And it could be also in regards to our own perception of our own value, awakening to some personal truth in some type of a way that is realigning our sense of our own value, and that is causing us to really like want to change course in one way or another as well. This can also be, like I said, relationships, finances, partnerships, resources, food, comfort, balance, stability, pleasure, status quo, comfort zones being disrupted, realigned, readjusted. Remember, Uranus is one of the only planets besides Mercury that is still retrograde right now. So, we're talking about this process of reworking things. Like, it's still this rectification period, and Uranus is the galactic fixer. So we are being awakened to the truth of something that is likely hitting on some pretty deep levels of the heart. And it's gonna cause some pretty significant changes again coming up here this next week when Uranus is about to station direct. I'm sorry, it is getting, there's like this big storm coming as I'm shooting this video today, and it is just getting like darker and darker and darker. So I apologize for the lighting today. It's just because it is super dark out, and it might like start storming at any moment here. So that's what's going on with the like dark room. Like, it looks like on the camera right now, at least it looks like I'm sitting in like a black room. I'm actually not. It's not that dark in here, but it really looks like it on the camera. So anyways, back to the astrology though. With this square coming in and this mutual reception between these two planets, we are likely to be craving change and excitement. And with it being the square, you guys, the 90-degree angle, this could be to the point of us actually like causing conflict. People could be starting fights to get out of things that they don't want to do, or that they feel like are uncomfortable, or they're like not pleasant to them. Don't be surprised if people are starting fights to get out of certain situations in relationships or in financial dynamics today. And we're looking for new experiences, like I said, desiring authenticity, desiring excitement, desiring realness at essentially any cost, okay, with this mutual reception and the square coming in. So that is what we're valuing right now with Venus in Aquarius and the mutual reception, with Uranus and Taurus in the exact aspect today. We are valuing our freedom to be real, and anything that is not supportive of that, we're kind of just like, all right, I'm ready to detach from that. Venus in Aquarius is an energy that can detach from things that are not aligned, especially mentally, and like more on like a frequency that do not resonate. That's what it is. Venus in Aquarius has to resonate with the relationships and the connections and the interactions and the circumstances generally that they're experiencing in their lives in order to feel comfortable. If there's no resonance, if there's no meeting of the minds, if we're not on the same frequency, if we're not on the same page, then that energy is not comfortable. So it's going to seek to detach from anything that is out of that frequency resonance in preference of that which is. And that which is, because we're dealing with this Aquarius energy, is likely to be that which is also in alignment with supporting the authentic truth, the authentic growth, with these mutual receptions and the square coming in as well. So anything, you guys, that is blocking growth or presenting superficial, like a superficial front or superficial image, is just not tolerable in this energy. It's about us awakening to the truth of our own potential, the truth of our own value, our own authentic truth. It wants authenticity. So anything that is like you said, being superficial or being fake, or that we feel like is just not a match for us anymore, we're likely to begin to feel like we need to detach from. We're looking for something that makes us feel alive, especially again with Mars having gestation direct as well. It's like we're also like pretty inspired about it. Like, we're not really holding back. We're like, okay, this is what I need. This is who I am. This is what I want to do. And I'm sort of like ready to go with the way that all this is coming together. We have Venus at 15 degrees of Aquarius today, and the exact square to Uranus at 15 degrees of Taurus. In terms of the Sabian symbol placement, Venus at 15 degrees of Aquarius, that Sabian symbol is two lovebirds sitting on a fence singing happily. So interesting. We've got Venus, the planet ruling love and relationships, in the exact square with Uranus today, which rules disruptions. And she's talking about two lovebirds sitting on a fence singing happily, specifically bringing up these relationship dynamics, the two lovebirds, but they're singing happily, right? They're birds, they're chirping, they're doing it in the same tone, in the same frequency. So to me, Venus at this degree in the square to Uranus is telling us like anything that is out of alignment with our frequency is not filling us up on this, is not truly, making us happy necessarily at this point in time. And that is where these disruptions are likely to come into play. Uranus at 15 degrees of Taurus, that Sabian symbol is a man with a rakish silk hat, muffled against the cold, braves a storm. So we want to find what resonates with the true song of our heart, because we know that that is really that is what we're craving. That is where our happiness is going to stem from at this point in time. What is a reflection of the truth about ourselves that we've discovered discovered, and we are prepared to brave whatever storm we need to in order to get there. So that's the way that that is playing out for us symbolically today. We also have the sun at 25 degrees of Capricorn on Saturday, a store filled with precious oriental rugs. So the storehouse of value, right? Internally, we are seeing our own internal value and abundance, the precious resources, the precious nature of what we hold inside, and we want our relationships and outer world and circumstances to reflect that. The two lovebirds sitting on the fence singing happily. We want to find what is an energetic match for us and like interact and relate with that recognizes and supports this recognition of the value that we have discovered inside, and we're willing again to brave perhaps a storm in order to get to that point. So I don't know, you guys, but that's what it's looking like. We're willing to detach from what's not in alignment with our value or with our values. Relationships for sure being rebalanced, being rearranged, things being righted, justice being restored. Uranus is the galactic fixer. This is happening in these fixed signs. Again, I will say it again, breaking through and breakthroughs in regards to stubborn resistances, likely from the past, that have been keeping us stagnant, and it may not be in the most comfortable way, but this is universe coming through and making the changes for us that we haven't been able to make for ourselves in regards to matters of the heart specifically. Moving into the energy for Sunday, you guys. We don't have a whole bunch going on Sunday. Sunday is our less busy aspect day, but it is also the energy that is transitioning us into next week. And like I said in the beginning, like there is this building intensity as the sun is officially coming into the conjunction within a few degrees of Pluto on Sunday, and we simultaneously have the moon moving into Scorpio, which is also ruled by Pluto, also ruled by Mars. So actually on Sunday, the moon is putting an emphasis on both the Mars direct energy that we have right now. Mars is still not like really moving forward. This energy is really strong. Mars is basically still kind of stationary, has not moved to the next degree yet. Emphasis on the Mars energy, but Scorpio has two rulers, co-ruled by Mars and by Pluto. So the moon in Scorpio is bringing up Mars themes, also bringing up Pluto themes. And what is going on with Pluto right now is the sun in Capricorn is moving into its once yearly conjunction with Pluto, which is amazingly going to happen on the 18th, you guys. The 18th is going to be a big day energetically, building into that energy, coming out of that energy. But specifically, I would pay attention to things going on the 18th, because that is the day that not only do we have Mercury stationing to go direct, but we also have the sun in exact conjunction with Pluto on that day. So there's likely to be some big news that is having a major impact, very transformative. And then literally like just a couple of days after that, on the 22nd, Uranus stations direct. So whatever is coming with this Pluto Sun conjunction, Mercury direct on the 18th is going to end or result as a consequence in some type of big change or awakening that comes on the 22nd. So this third week is likely to be very illuminating, very enlightening, very awakening on a conscious level, and lots of changes are likely to come as a result of that. And that's also why I've been saying, you guys, like, even though we have Mars direct right now, this is not necessarily time to like, you know, hit the go button off that launch pad and to shoot ourselves forward, because things are still coming into place. We're still going to be finding some things out. There's still some things that we don't know about. There's still, you know, a different, I mean, I don't even know. We don't even know. You don't know what we don't know, but what we do know is that we're going to find out some things that we don't know right now. And the things that we find out that we don't know right now, those things are going to be significant in triggering sequences of events that are changing things in some type of big way. So it's kind of premature to be taking these actions right now. We kind of want to see what we find out. And also with the Uranian energy that's going to be coming in, Uranus stationing, things are going to just be falling into place and happening. So yeah, that's pending, that's coming. And in the energy for Sunday, we are actually like, this is kicking this off. Like, we're really building into this with the moon entering the sign of Scorpio, bringing up these Pluto themes while the sun is coming into the conjunction with Pluto as well. The sun moves to 26 degrees of Capricorn on Sunday. Pluto's currently at 29 degrees of Capricorn. So we are 3 degrees out, which to me is an official orb and worth talking about. So, this is going to be building intensity. This is some powerful emotions coming up. This could definitely be bringing up power struggles, things with authority figures, rules, regulations, bosses, public reputation, career, like all this type of stuff could potentially be like coming to a head. But definitely when we have the sun and we have Pluto coming into a conjunction, this is always themes of power that are surfacing. Also, the sun, this is the greatest source of light. Pluto is the lord of the underworld. So this also is always a time each year when there is light that is shown into the shadows and we gain some type of an illumination in something that has a powerful and transformative effect. So this is the energy that is sort of being sparked and beginning to grow on Sunday, building into next week. This is also, with the moon coming into the conjunction with the south node, this is also triggering some emotional release as well as we are moving into this energy. Release and transformation, stepping out again of our past identity, perhaps with the Mars direct as well. Scorpio ruled by Mars, Scorpio ruled by Pluto, Mars direct in Gemini, the moon opposing the north node as well, because it will be conjuncting the south node. So like really reflecting on who we're becoming and where we're going next, and simultaneously on an emotional level, what we need to detach ourselves from and release from this emotional purge energy in order to get there. But with the sun coming in conjunction with Pluto, this is likely to be a very intense, powerful urges, emotional urges, build up energy coming in as well. Very powerful and transformative window of energy that we are in starting Sunday and moving into next week, bringing even more revelations. I know I've been talking about this for, this past couple weeks, but all of 2023, or 2022, a lot of what was being set up in 2022 is actually coming to a point of revelation and revealing and making a lot more sense right now in 2023 as this energy is coming in. Revelations, shining light into the shadows, seeing what has been hidden there. Lots of ugly truths are likely to start surfacing, you guys, about things that happen behind closed doors, especially in terms of, again, like the more like upper echelons of society or government or management, authority, corruption, abuses of power that have gone on in the past. That is what this is gonna, the things that come up along these lines are most likely to have to do with corruption, abuses of power, and underhanded things, secrets that have been hidden from the past. With Mercury retrograde right now and about to station direct on the day when this activation, Sun and Pluto comes exact. It will peak on the 18th when Mercury, like I said, is station direct and the Sun and Pluto come to this alignment. But things are coming full circle. Things that have gone in the past that have not been right or that have been hidden, definitely coming up, finally seeing the light of day with this. And Sunday, as I said, this is sort of the vibe that we are beginning to move into. Emotional release from things that have been stealing our power as well. We are taking back our power through gaining this sense of illumination and seeing the light about things. Pretty powerful day on Sunday. And Venus is at 16 degrees of Aquarius. That Sabian symbol is a big businessman at his desk. And I feel like that really is sort of describing the vibe. We may sort of be taking things seriously. There may be issues about these power issues coming up, our relationship to our own power dynamics going on with others, us coming into a place of greater self-empowerment, and what do we do with this now, and how does this affect the other dimensions of our lives and stuff like that. So these are the issues playing out on Sunday, and over, just generally the flow of the weekend. We start the weekend sort of immersed on Friday in this Neptune energy, these visions, these dreams, these ideals for ourselves, moving into this Uranus energy of Saturday. We are sort of compelled to create change in kind of the active, actual status quo of things in our lives. And then on Sunday, this may be triggering some of these powerful emotions or these realizations or transformations or just intensity building on these deeper levels, knowing that something's got to happen or that something's got to give. So that is what I have to say today, you guys. Long report today, message for the weekend. And this is carrying us into what we have going on in this big week that we have coming up the third week of January. So, all that being said, I'm going to grab us some guidance, God, Spirit, Universe. What is some advice as we are navigating the energy this weekend? What should we keep in mind? What do we need to know? What should our mantra be? What do we tell ourselves? Oh, okay. Here's a card. A blessing in disguise. There it is. There you go. You know, that's Uranus in a nutshell. Uranus brings blessings in disguise. Don't judge a book by its cover this weekend. Don't take things on their surface level. Things are not as they appear, okay? And they're going to start to make a lot more sense, I feel like I said, we move through this third week of January coming up. A blessing in disguise. And the Lord sent thunder and rain that day. 1 Samuel 12:18. Man with the rakish silk hat, muffled against the cold, braves a storm. It could be a little stormy out there. Uranus also is the Lord of lightning, so it's all good though. This message says, thunder and lightning can be frightening and give us a scare, but it is followed by a blessed rain. You are divinely guided and blessings follow. So we are holding on to our hat this weekend, you guys. We're expecting the unexpected with the faith and the knowledge that everything is truly working in our favor, whether or not it appears that way at this moment. So that's what I have to say today, you guys. Message from the stars and guidance from God, Spirit, Universe. Happy 500th video to this channel, and thank you guys again so much for being here. If you guys did like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, you guys, share it with your friends. If you think that they would be interested like this kind of astrology content as well, please leave me comments, you guys. Again, I am so grateful for each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for being here. I love you guys. Thank you for your feedback. Thank you for letting me know how these aspects and transits are affecting you too. I really appreciate that, and so grateful again for each and every single one of you. I also have a Facebook page, a Facebook group, a website, an Instagram, and some other social media stuff in my description box below. I should say I actually post some other astrology content over in my Facebook group a lot. I post a written blog every day, which I don't know why I don't ever say that, but if you join my Facebook group, if you are into reading about astrology as well, I also every day write a separate like blog write-up that goes along with the video, but is not the video. It's just like a shorter write-up, obviously much less detail, but I post that over there every day if you're into that as well. I also post a lot of shorter videos and shorter content, more specific on certain topics and stuff over there. So got that going on, and come back with me, you guys, on Monday. We are going to be getting into this week 3. Again, it is likely to be an interesting week, and I will be here to talk about it. You should be here too. You don't want to miss it. And I will see you then, everybody. Have a beautiful weekend. And until Monday, bye guys.